Hello and welcome to UnJustified, where we always cover the truth, the facts, the good, the bad, the ugly, on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. If you're not a member of our newest channel, Unjustified Crimes, please join us over there as well. You can hit the link in the description box below. There is where we cover all of the breaking crime news. And let's get right into today's video.
For missing 5-year-old Summer Wells, authorities say the little girl, whose picture so many of us now have seen for several days, has still not been found. But Summer's not the only missing person in her family. You may have heard by now that Summer's aunt, Rose Bly, is missing and has been missing since 2009 in the state of Wisconsin, where investigators say they are still looking for her.
Okay, this is from the website Missing Persons of America, and ironically, only 2 days after Summer went missing, on June the 17th, 2021, and we know Summer went missing on June the 15th, 2021, the Missing Persons of America website actually made a page for Rose Marie Bly. And so I'm going to read a little bit of her story here. Also, I don't think Rose needs to be forgotten. Even though she is now considered a cold case, she is still missing. No information, no suspects, nothing. I'm also going to have a few news clips and a small documentary here that was made about Rose. And there's an interview with her mother and the sheriff's department and sort of an aerial of the area where she went missing, her home, and things like that. So learn a little bit about Rose Marie, and let's not forget her.
When 5-year-old Summer Wells disappeared, her family told me nobody can understand the pain of not knowing where 2 family members are.
I don't know all of what happened or what did happen, but I hope that they find her too.
And she disappeared without a trace. They haven't found anything, haven't found a body, nothing. And you know, when you see cases like that, that's why I lose hope on Summer. You know, I want to keep hope, but sometimes I just lose hope.
Lose it.
And I think, well, maybe we won't never see her again.
Wisconsin law enforcement sharing a message of encouragement to local law enforcement looking for Summer Wells and to the Wells family.
Anytime you have a missing person, there's an impact, but when it's a child, it's even a bigger impact. I sympathize with them. I know the tremendous amount of work and effort that goes into this, and it isn't all hands on deck. So I sympathize with the work they're doing. I don't ever give up hope.
Okay, now after I go over her story a bit, I am going to come back at the end and tell you a few small updates that have came about since this article was originally written. Rose Marie Bly went missing from Wisconsin in 2009. She was last seen driving away from her home at about 7:30 p.m. to meet a cousin in Cushing, Wisconsin at a bar. Rose Marie Bly is the aunt of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells from Tennessee. Rose's car, a 2001 Pontiac Grand Am, was found abandoned 4 days after she was reported missing at the municipal lot west of the post office in Grantsburg. The keys were missing. I'm just at wit's end because I don't know what happened, said Rose's mother, Candy, of Grantsburg, Wisconsin. She doubts her daughter that wanted to be a children's book author would have left on her own. She was an amazing mother who would never have left her children, her mother said. Police have been called to the home in the past. Larson accused her of slapping him, and she accused him of putting her in a headlock and slamming her to the ground. And according to police and court records, He filed for divorce in June, but they reconciled and he withdrew the petition. Police are trying to piece together what happened in the days before she went missing. Her husband, Christopher Larson, believes that Rose left on her own. He filed for divorce in, again, 2010 and was granted temporary sole custody of their daughters. Court records said Larson took a polygraph and was cleared. This is actually a comment that was left on, it looks like, a Facebook, and it's from a lady named Nicole Steele. She said that she told Chris at the time that she was going to her cousin's and I was meeting her there for us all to go out. He showed up at my parents' house the next morning and they called me, and he was on the phone asking me if I knew where his wife was, and I asked who it was that was talking to me, and he said, Chris Larson. And I said, who? And he said, Rose's husband. Have you seen my wife? And I said, no. And he said, well, she never came home this morning and said she was going out with you and her cousin last night. Investigators searched her phone records, drained a lake, and followed up on several reports of sightings, but she was never located. And since 2009, they have handled over 200 tips on this case, and they have interviewed over 150 people. Rose is 5 feet tall. She weighs 110 pounds. She has light brown hair and brown eyes. She has a tattoo of cherries on her right ankle. Her ears and belly button are pierced. Rose was last seen wearing jeans, a green V-neck sweater over a white tank top, and flip-flop sandals. She frequently changes the length and style of her hair. At the time of her disappearance, her hair was cut in a chin-length bob. She may color her hair blonde or red. If you have any information on the disappearance or whereabouts of Rose Bly, please contact the Polk County Sheriff's Office at 715-485-8300. The most current up-to-date information on Rose that I have been able to find is that it was reported that her cousin said Rose had not made plans to meet up with her, and she never even saw Rose that night. And the Polk County Sheriff, Tim Moore, said in 2010 that the Sheriff's Department shipped the entire case file to FBI headquarters in Virginia. Sheriff Johnson later stated that even though it was shipped, it did still remain their case. In 2019, there was an article found with information that said the unidentified DNA evidence was found in the Pontiac, which it was not matched with anyone in the current database reported in 2019. Rose's DNA has been kept for the future. There was a 2014 article that said one search warrant had been executed recently. Sheriff's Department says that our official statement is nobody is ruled out. And that is clarification from several years ago when it was made public that her husband had passed a polygraph test. The sheriff says, I can't say a whole lot about it. We've got some leads we're working on, and a couple of them appear to be promising, but we will just have to wait. Because Rose went missing, a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge with a later amendment for domestic abuse that was filed 3 months prior to her disappearance was never settled, and that warrant is still outstanding until this day. Now that is a little backstory on Rose. Let's not forget her. Keep your eye out for her as well.
Rolling hills and dense forests of northwest Wisconsin is a landscape so beautiful you'd swear it was taken directly from a painting. But if you look close enough, there is a dark cloud lingering in the distance. A secret that these roads have held on to for far too long. A secret that has haunted Candus here in this community for 10 long years.
And it's horrible. It's hard to deal with. very hard to deal with. And my life will never be normal without knowing where my daughter is.
On August 21st, 2009, Rose Marie Bly left her residence in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin, believed to be en route to Cushing, just a short 6-mile drive to the east. The 21-year-old mother of 2 never made it. Days later, Bly's 2001 Pontiac Grand Am was found in the village of Grantsburg, nearly 17 miles north of her house, with no explanation as to how it got there. No one has seen or heard from her since. There hasn't been a day that has gone by when Candus here hasn't wondered where her youngest daughter is, or if she's okay.
With a missing child, there's a hole in your heart that can't be filled. And it's an impossible journey every day to wake up and wonder where she is. Just trying to figure out where my daughter is. It's horrible. It's not a good feeling. It's just, I wish I knew where she was.
My name is Brent Walk, and I'm the Polk County Sheriff.
When Rose Bly went missing, Brent Walk was a patrol sergeant with the Polk County Sheriff's Department. Now Sheriff Walk and his office have made finding Bly a top priority. To date, the Sheriff's Department has investigated more than 200 tips and have interviewed more than 150 people. Still, the same question remains. Where is Rose Bly?
Well, I sympathize with the family of Rose because they want to know the answers, much like we do. And when these answers are largely unknown, that's very difficult to deal with. When you have to keep questioning what happened to Rose and where did she go, and certainly that is the solution we're looking for. We want to bring closure to this. 10 years, a decade, that's a lot of time. And you just look at what's changed in our lives and our careers, yet alone this case is still out there. And we would like to bring conclusion to it.
10 years.
I tried to avoid this area. And I can't. It just draws me back. And I don't know why.
Years of worry and wondering. A full decade Rose's children have had to spend without their mother. Someone knows something. Someone has the key. Everyone agrees it's time for this mystery to be solved. It's time for Rose to come home.
Not sure which way, but she's out there somewhere. It's hard not to cry, and even just out here looking, it just brings tears to my eyes. Not knowing what actually really happened that day. Rosie, if you're out there, I still have the same number. I want to bring her home.
There is a lot of interest in it, and certainly we will help any way we can to work towards closure for both cases. If there's anything we can do to help, we're certainly willing to do that.
It is just almost unreal that 2 in the same family would come up missing. Rose Marie, and now Rose Marie's niece, Summer. Same family, both missing. Everyone's a suspect and still not found. Thank you all so much for listening, and until next time, this is UnJustified.